Hi everyone. In this video we're going to be doing a breakdown of the keyboard part and the keyboard patch on the Nord for the song Promises by Maverick City Worship, which is in the key of B flat. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to find the patch for Promises. So like all the song specific patches, it's in bank C. So starting in bank A, we use the program select knob to go all the way up through the banks, bank A, bank B, until we get to bank C. And all the song patches in bank C are in alphabetical order. So if we go up through the alphabet, there it is, Promises at C21, although that might move in future if we add new songs. Okay, so let's look at how the keyboard is set up for the patch for Promises and the controls that we need. So the keyboard is centered around a piano sound, which is all the way across the keyboard. There's no splits, which means different parts of the keyboard do different things. It's just the same sound all the way up the keyboard. But there are some things that are layered, and layered means that when we play one key, we get more than one sound. So the first control we need is the mod wheel, and what that does is that brings in an extra layered piano, which is an octave above the main piano, and that's helpful to make the kind of more expressive piano parts stand out. So with the mod wheel all the way down, which is how we start the song, we just get the main piano on its own. But as we move the mod wheel up, that brings a second piano, which makes it stand out a bit more. Now the second control we need is in the bridge. We layer an organ with the piano sound. So to do that, this is the organ section on the left of the keyboard, and there's the organ on-off button, which is underneath the knob here. So if we press that once to turn it on, now we get an organ layered with the piano, which is used for the bridge. Now, in order to build the bridge as we go through it, we can use the preset 2 button in the organ section. What that does, that changes the drawbars to a different preset, which adds a few extra drawbars and makes the organ sound a little bit louder and a little bit fuller. So without the preset 2 button, we just get a basic organ sound. If I press the preset 2 button, it gets a bit louder, so we can build the bridge using that. And then the final control we need, as we get towards the end of the bridge, we want to add a little bit of expression to the organ sound, and we do that with the rotary slow fast, which adds some vibrato sound to the organ. So without in slow mode, and when I add the fast mode. Okay, so let's get into the keyboard part for Promises. So the first thing we need to talk about is the timing, because the song is in a time signature of 6/8, so that's 6 beats per bar. But all the way through the song, the keyboard part plays in a 4/4 time over the top of that. So we're playing 4 beats per bar over a click that's in 6 beats. So that takes a little bit of practice to get the timing of that right. But it sounds like this. So if I start a click that's in 6/8, so the click is going 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we play in 4/4 across that. So we're playing 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. 2, 3, 4. So like I said, takes a little bit of practice to get that timing right, but that's the way the keyboard part sounds through all of the song. So now let's move on into the introduction. So the chords for the intro are a G minor, so we play octaves in the left hand for pretty much all of the song. So that's G in the bass, left hand, and then G minor, the one below middle C, in the right hand. And then the next chord is E flat major 7th. So instead of a normal E flat chord, we lower the top note by a semitone to a D. Then the next chord's B flat, then F, and F sus 4. And what we're doing as we play that is we're kind of accentuating the D a little bit, because the D is what's called a pedal note, so it's a note that we keep the same through several different chords. So G minor, E flat major 7th, F, and then also in the intro there's a little motif that's there on the recording that we can play if we want to, and that goes G, D, C, B flat, G, D, C, B flat, F, D, C, B flat, and then the chord of F sus4. So that sounds like that. If I put the whole intro together, so first time through with the chords, and then second time with the motif. And then what I also do at the end of the intro, just to give a little cue to everyone, a kind of musical cue when we're going into the verses, I'll put a little stop on that F, so just leave that hanging for the whole bar. So keep an eye on the worship leader or whoever's singing for when that moment might happen. And then we get into the first verse. So the first verse is exactly the same chords as the intro, so G minor, E flat major 7th, B flat and F, F sus4. But remember to keep that in a kind of 4/4 timing. So verse 1 sounds like this. And then we get into the first pre-chorus. So the chord's exactly the same as the verse, but now, just to help the song build a little bit, we're going to play a little bit of the melody as well. And then we get into the chorus. So the first chorus is stripped down a little bit. So normally we play the first chorus just with one chord per bar. So the chords for the chorus are G minor. So normally just a triad in the right hand. B flat but with a D in the bass. E flat, just not plain E flat, not an E flat major 7th this time. And then B flat but with B flat in the bass. So we play that through, firstly 2 times like this. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to me. And also, as we're going through those kind of stripped down chords, what we're going to do, in preparation for the next bit, we're going to raise the mod wheel from all the way down. So we started the song with the mod wheel all the way down, and we're going to move it to halfway up. And that's getting ready for the next bit, where we're going to kind of have a melody in the right hand. And what we do is we play the actual song melody, but a few beats ahead of where everybody's singing it. So 3 beats ahead of where we're singing it, just to kind of give everybody a musical cue for where the song's going next. So that melody in the right hand is B flat, C, D, F, C, F, D rather. And putting the whole chorus together, that melody kind of sounds like this. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is your faithfulness to... Now the melody. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. And then out of the first chorus we go back into the intro chords. So that's our G flat, G minor, E flat major 7th, B flat, F. Remember the 4/4, and we can play our little motif if we want to. then into verse 2, which is exactly the same as verse 1. But during verse 2, what we're going to do also is we're going to move our mod wheel from halfway up to all the way up, and that's in preparation for pre-chorus 2, because the song's kind of building all the way through, and these are little ways that we can help the sound of the song build. And then we get into the second pre-chorus, and like the first pre-chorus, it's exactly the same chords as the verse, but now we're playing a little bit of the melody. The second part of the second pre-chorus, on the recording there's a nice little kind of rundown that starts from B flat, so that sounds like this. So putting the whole of pre-chorus 2 together. Now we get into the second chorus, and now, unlike the first chorus, the second chorus is a little bit fuller, so we're going to play a little bit more of the melody. Is your faithfulness to me? Great is your faithfulness to me. The rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. And then from the second chorus we go into the bridge. So for the bridge we use the Hammond organ, so we start to layer that with the piano, and we do that by hitting the on-off button for the Hammond section, which is the one here under the knob. And we do that in the kind of little gap that there is between the last line of the second chorus and the bridge. So that sounds like this. Great is your faithfulness to me. Hammond on. So the bridge chords are E flat, B flat, G minor and F, then E flat again, and B flat, but this time with a D in the bass, G minor and F again. So we introduce the bridge, and in the right hand there's a little kind of extra melody on the recording that we could introduce if we want to. So that's got a little triplet in it, so it's like this. So we can use that in the intro to the bridge if we want to. Then we go into singing the bridge. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and my salvation, He will never let me down. And we'll go through singing the bridge several times, and to help the song build as we repeat the bridge, what we can do is the second time we sing it, or maybe the third time we sing it, we can hit the preset 2 button on the Hammond, and that makes the organ a little bit louder and a little bit fuller, so it just helps the song build. And then when we get to the end of the bridge, and we're going to go back into the chorus again, we repeat the last line of the bridge, and we do that over a chord of E flat. So that's He'll never let me down. And what we do to help the song kind of build even further at that point, we hit the slow fast button on the rotary speaker. And what that does, that makes the organ start to kind of have a vibrato that kind of accelerates. So that's a very good way of building a song. So that sounds like this. He'll never let me down. We keep that going for the final chorus. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting sun, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. And then for the final line of the chorus, what I always do is, if the rotary speaker's on fast, I always hit the slow fast button again just to bring it down to slow, because that gives you options of where to go to finish the song. So a lot of the time we might just finish on the B flat, so hold it for 2 bars and then off. Or sometimes we might go back into the bridge chords. And by slowing the rotary speaker down, that gives you the options to go either of those places. So if we just finish on the B flat, that sounds like this. Great is your faithfulness to me. 2 bars and off. Or you can go from there back into the bridge chords, so that could sound like this. Is your faithfulness to me. So depending how the song finishes. So that gets to the end of the song. So that's the whole of the keyboard part for Promises. I really hope that you enjoy worshipping with it.